Hello, welcome back to Pommyinoz. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. We're well on our way to 500 subs, and if we can get there before the end of the season, it's a huge task. We need about 50. That would be absolutely amazing. So please, give it a share, give it a follow. It means so much to me. And we're at round 18. It's the end of the year. It's crazy. I've been doing, what is this now? This is the 17th? Because we didn't do round one, we weren't formed. That's crazy for me. Absolutely crazy that we're here. And I don't think I'd say in recent years I'd be doing a preview of a game in September. I know it doesn't quite count. COVID ball has really taken over. But here we are this Saturday evening at 7:10 we play Brisbane Lions at the Gabba. Now this is a huge task and there's a great subplot forming in this game. It's Kade Simpson's 342nd, and that is absolutely huge. We say goodbye to really an icon of Carlton for me in my time of supporting them in the decade that I've been here. He's just always been a staple. He's someone that, you know, I'll see week in, week out, and it's really an end of an era, isn't it? It's a chapter closing, and he's been a great servant of the club. And for me, let's just start off with a big thank you to him, because for me, if anything represents that beautiful monogram there that Charlie's adorning, I think it's him. Hard work, endeavour, grit, just turning up week in, week out and putting shifts in. And I think that for me as a fan, that's what I'm looking for from all 22 blokes when they play. You know, putting it in, sometimes outmatched, sometimes outgunned, but just a will and an intent to dust yourself off and go hard again. Go hard, 100% effort, tremendous loyal servant of this football club, and he'll be sorely missed. And it does leave not only a hole in the heart, but a hole in the team of who will step up. And this game for me is a tremendous chance for one of the other 21 blokes to put their hand up. There's a hole now in the hearts of the fans. And who's going to endear themselves? Who's going to be the next Kade Simpson? Who's going to be the next guy that has a long, glorious career? And really, this is the time. This is the time for them. Kade was around in a time that transitioned from a successful final side to where it is now, just a barren spell. So the next bloke that takes on his mantle has got probably the greatest opportunity in the world to be a hero, be a flag winner, and something that Kade probably deserves to retire with. Now, when you look at Brisbane and how they play, the similarities between Carlton and them are kind of huge. There's a lot being made about that. And one is the game style. If you look, both of these sides are the top two in kick to handball ratio. They get the ball moving. It's a very aggressive game plan. And on paper, if this was a boxing match, basically it's two blokes that go toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. It's what we're looking for. Now, Carlton have struggled in their last rounds. You take away the draw in 2014 against Essendon, you've got the 2013 win against Port, and then you'd have to go back to 2004 for the next win, and that was against the Pies. And it's been probably a testament to where we've been as a football club. Usually by now, you know, we're well 1 foot in a beach resort in Bali, looking forward to our next beer, and football's a distant memory for them. And to me, this is a chance, when you look at where we are in the season, to finish it on a high, to go into 2021 with all this talk of, you know, we've built something, to go in there with a big push against a big club, against a club that David Teague's Carlton have good memories of as well. Let's not forget Cripper's game last year. It was an absolute phenomenal one. And really, this is where this team does seem to perform. You know, Gabba, Brisbane haven't lost at the Gabba. They've come off one okay performance in the last 4 and 3 dire ones. This is usually where the boys just, you know, something twigs in them. And I'll give them that. Their fight back ability, if that's a word, is definitely up there. And for me, they've got a lot to play for, because to me, when a player of Kade Simpson's magnitude retires, a guy that has stuck around and seen the shit that we've produced and seen the hopelessness and the desperation, and he's never wavered. For me, that's something that if I was in that locker room, I would feel like I have to owe him. I feel like I'd owe him a send-off, owe him a dub, and send him away, you know, knowing that it hasn't been a waste of 20 years. We are ready to step up. We're here, and we're going to encompass the belief that Kade Simpson has had in this football club as a player. And for me, when you look at Brisbane and how they play, it's a tale of similarities to us. Their efficiency inside 50 to mark is superior to us. Their entries are superior, but their set shot kicking has killed them, where Carlton's efficiency just to get the ball to a target inside 50 has been woeful. And for me, it's a really great chance for both of these sides, really, to get rid of that, to improve on that and to win the game. And for me, it's going to be really intriguing to see how that happens, because I think matchup-wise, it's a pretty on-point game. And where teams have beaten Brisbane, and this is where we should feel a bit of solace, is domination in the centre. The games they've lost this year, 3 of them, have come from just purely winning the centre clearances, being able to control the footy, control the tempo, and hurt them. And because Brisbane haven't been able to have the decent set shots and the good set shot efficiency, genuinely that's happened. The other way that they've lost is, particularly if you look at the Richmond game, and that's a very good lever, or the North Melbourne game where it was very close, it's being able to turn the ball over on them, being able to score from turnover. Now that is where Carlton are dominant. We're one of the top 5 sides of the comp from scores and turnover. Organic has been the issue. And for me, that's going to be a really intriguing battle there. If you can put pressure on Brisbane and get the ball turned over and get the ball moving forward, which we are the best in the comp at doing that, there you are. There's the secret. So really, this game, add the Kade Simpson retiring, it's basically do what you've done well and an extra 10%. And that is what Kade Simpson's all about. That effort, that extra 10%. This is, for me, this is a real huge game. In just take out ladder position. This is a huge game. Take out the Kade Simpson retiring. For me, what is important about this game is it gets us another win. It gets us leaving the season beating a top 8 side. And if you're Nick Austin, if you can go to some of these players that we've been linked with, you know, your Zach Williams, who's going to be potentially leaving a flag winning side. They're definitely in the window. Or a Jack Graham, or, you know, whoever you name, a Kelly. If you just, whoever you think of, an Adam Sard, all these names, these wonderful names. And you can say, look, we've got X amount of wins. We've exponentially improved in these areas. We believe that you can make these top 8 side wins happen all the time. And it puts you in the shop window, because if we suddenly go on the back of these abject performances and we put in another one, if you're a player of mid-age, and that's what we need, don't get me wrong, I think we need about 4 or 5 of these mid-age blokes, is that going to be detrimental to you? Like, would you? Like, be honest. Like, I've got blue glasses on. Of course I'd sign for Carlton. I'd sign for Carlton if I was playing for Richmond. But would that create the seeds of doubt? And for me, this is a huge game for the boys. This is where they can go hard. Like, if we look at the stats, there's nothing that's clear. It's very similar. It's all within 2 of each other. This is a game that potentially, matchup-wise, we have a lot of strength in key positions. And this is where you go hard. You go hard at the contest. And as I said, that is what teams have done to beat Brisbane. They've won the centre clearances. They've broke even in stoppages. It's where they're very good. They've looked to apply the pressure and they've punished them on the turnover. And their errant set shots have been the way. And for me, one of the key things is how you stop these guys is they are so go hard very early. Disposals per goal is 29.57 for Brisbane. They really do look to go. They're a very well-oiled machine. They look to go hard very quickly. It's very fast-paced. And that is where I think that's going to help Carlton, because we do look to attack you very hard over the top on a transition, on a turnover. A lot is going to come down to, for me, I know it was in the papers, Wheaterin isn't in the All-Australian reckoning. For me, he's a lock for All-Australia, because this is where his strength comes in. That key down the back, taking that intercept mark and getting it going quick. He's an elite kick by foot. So for me, I think for the boys, this is a winnable game. Do I think they're going to win it? For me, it's tough because I'm trying to find that confidence that I have within in the team. And just the last 4 games, aside from the Sydney game in spurts, there's been some worrying signs that there is Q on the rack mentality. And I know everyone disagrees on the attitude that they showed Bryce Gibbs. For me, I stand by it. It's not a good look. For me, when finals were on the line, and I know there was still a mathematical probability, it's not a great look. So for me, I'm expecting a huge desire and a huge performance like they showed for Gibbs and like they showed for Cruiser. That fanfare, I expect it to be played. And if they play like that, with that extra 10%, this game's winnable. And for me, just imagine going into the season next year with a win here. It says to the boys, we can compete in the closing stages with a top 8 side. And this side could sew up a top 2 position. Like, you look at all the little stories in this, sews up a top 2 position for Brisbane potentially. 2 games at the Gabba, unbeaten at the Gabba. This is a game where, literally, you take a lot of confidence away from it. You're like, we did something that we shouldn't have done. Let's look at the Adelaide game, that was piss poor. Let's look at the GWS game, that was piss poor. Let's look at the Collingwood game, that was piss poor. But when it comes together, we can do it. And let's hope this potentially is that what Brisbane did in 2018, where they started to have wins late in the year, they started to roll teams, a bit of belief comes, and they can look back, analyse 2020 and go, well, this is where it went wrong. And this is how easy it is for us to be successful. And with X, Y, Z coming in, we're here. We're a top 8 side. Because I believe this core group is very good. Very good. But honestly, this is going to be a great game for me. This is going to be a great game. It's 2 attacking sides, and it's going to be an exceptionally, potentially good game on paper. It's 2 sides going hell for leather. Brisbane, I know people are saying they've sewn up a top 8 spot, but 2 games at the Gabba, 2 home finals could be huge for them. Huge for them because they have been dominant there. And for me, when you look at some of the teams they could play, your Ports, your Eagles, they will want potentially to have that home advantage because it will be a huge asset to Brisbane because they play this ground really well. Let me know what you guys and girls think. I'd love to know who are your potential ins. There's a lot of talk that Doc's out and Fish is out, which for me is a big shame. I'd love to see Doc carry him off, and I'd love to see Fisher. I'm just really enjoyed by his jib at the moment. He looks a sort, and I'm really excited about him. Let me know your ins. Let me know your score projections. I'm going to go plus 12 Carlton. I reckon Carlton will snare 2 late goals, and I reckon we're going to see a cheeky kid Simpson furore like we did, which brought a smile to my face against Adelaide down the wing, and hopefully we can get him a snag to leave. But all in all, it'll be an emotional game. I will definitely be live for this. It's an evening fixture, so my kidlets will be in bed. Look forward to seeing you then. Dan out.